Select Board meeting for September 3rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Hollis Community Building. I call the meeting to order. I'm going to start at my far right with the town manager introducing himself.
Hi, I'm Dick Moran. Glad
The
to be here.
town manager.
You bet.
Dan Urimian, Select Board.
Mary Hoffman, Select Board.
Mike Harnois, Select Board.
And first up on the agenda, we have Chris Young with his brush truck proposal. Very hard word to pronounce. Thanks, Chief Young.
Thank you. As requested by the board, your last meeting, I did send over a proposal last week for the, as requested for a new brush truck, utility truck. I was asked to look at new trucks rather than used items, so the proposal was sent over to you. I do not have a copy for the screen, and asked the board to offer any questions pertaining to the proposal. I guess one of the big questions on it was the availability of the truck, and consulting with Casco Bay Ford, which is one of the two dealers that was offering municipal discounts. They were the least expensive for the same truck. They have one on site currently on the lot that they did put our name on to hold until I can get back to them with an answer. I told them I'd have one for them by the end of the week. So,
Thanks.
So the truck and chassis is available. There's a period of time that they stated they can have the flatbed body to go on the truck. They'd have it there in roughly 2 to 3 weeks, and then they asked me to say up to 6 weeks for it to be completely mounted and ready to go. Likely sooner than that, but they wanted me to tell them six weeks just to be safe.
Okay.
I did get a better price quote on the on that flatbed body that included the side toolboxes in it. That saved a little bit of money. Saved, $450 roughly off that total, going through Messer. So I did plug that in. You guys got an updated proposal again tonight because there's a couple of items that was mentioned that I did overlook. One was the decals for the truck and the cost of installing the light and siren package. So the update on that proposal is that second page that, Mike, you're probably seeing now for the first time. So,
So the one light and siren install looks like it would save us a lot of money if we had it done by our fleet maintenance department?
correct, yeah. So the difference between the light package installs, I priced out a light and siren package for $2,600. And the install from our own fleet maintenance, who is Scarborough Public Works, their fleet maintenance department, we contract with them. They do all the installs for their own equipment, pickup trucks and police cars. So they have plenty of experience doing this, doing those installs. So that's the price. That the difference between is a $3,700 to $4,800 for that install. That includes building a console for the radios that'll be mounted in the truck. So that's where the discrepancy would be. If we find a way to mount the radios where they don't have to build the console, it'll be a little cheaper. If they have to build the console, it'll be closer to that $4,800 number.
Okay.
The other option with that was we have our radio provider, the sole source company we get our radios from. They do installs. They typically do all of our radio installs for us. But they do install light packages as well, but they will only install the stuff that they sell, which is why their price is so much higher. And that price was between $8,250 and $9,900.
Thanks.
So I'm happy with going through our own company that we use for fleet maintenance. Like I said, they're very capable of doing the job. So.
And then the total price of $100,721.41, is that getting it sooner than December? Is that 2,306 that we would save not included in that number?
Yes, so the, with that number, it shows us a delivery time expected middle to end of October.
Okay,
The other would be, earliest we'd see would be the beginning of December.
okay, thank you.
If we were to go with the other option, the CET brand skid, is a little less expensive, by $2,300, but that has a much longer,
Lead time.
delivery time.
Okay.
That's really the only difference price-wise between.
And then just for the audience, you had said at your last presentation that you would plan on using this in the wintertime for when you're responding to trees down in the road, or,
Yes, so,
so if you can just expand on that a little bit.
yep,
please.
so we would likely label it a utility truck. That would be its call sign, and it would have what we're calling a skid unit, is a forestry skid. It's the part that holds a 300-gallon tank for water, the pump, and that is a removable skid. So we would take that out of the truck in the wintertime so that it can go out and not have to worry about freezing. And then the truck would be used for trees down, power lines down. It would carry our, since we already have our forestry equipment with it, so it has chainsaws, chaps, helmets, everything we need to deal with trees down on the roadway.
Okay.
We'd be able to load it full of cones in the bed where the skid unit would be during the forest fire season, where we can, put cones and barricades out on the roadways when needed. So it would still be in use year-round. We'd just remove the skid for the wintertime.
Thank you.
It's also a bigger, heavier-duty truck, and it comes with a plow package on it as well. So we, as people know, we have the plow that we use on the service pickup. We'd be able to use that same plow on this pickup. That is bigger, more heavy-duty, can handle plowing a lot better than the regular pickup truck can.
Mike, do you have any questions?
Maybe, I think there was a question about financials, like where the money was gonna come. I think Dan had a question about some of that. You had space in your budget for this, and we also had potential coming from the sale of engine one.
Right, that was the original proposal, is that the problem is we don't know exactly what we're gonna get from the sale of engine
Right.
one. We've gotten as little as $7,000 for a used fire truck when we've sold it, either locally or through a more local auction process. There's another company that posts these nationwide, Brindley Mountain. They're a auto auction place that sells fire trucks exclusively, and they've gotten as much as $49,000 for a used fire truck around the same year. The difference being those trucks had certified pumps when they sold, so I don't know what impact that's going to have. They sent me three comparables. One was $49,000, one was $39,000, one was $17,000.
Mm-hmm.
So having a not certified pump,
Yeah.
it's really hard to know how it really lands with those comparables.
But if approved, this is not going to, we're not going to try to sell the truck before, or auction off the truck before this truck is procured. So it's really not, it's just in essence a
Right.
little
It's
bonus.
Essentially, that would be to refund back to
Yeah.
either towards a TIF account or back to the general fund when that truck is sold.
Okay,
Is how that would work.
so we're good with the money, basically.
And then the other thing was the remaining funds from the previous years, leftover funds from the previous
Yeah.
budget.
Okay.
There's still some question about the total number there, somewhere between 43 and 51,000, somewhere in there, is what's expected to be the total number, possibly that could carry forward towards this.
Mhm.
So I know Dan had mentioned last time that, he prefers the idea of using TIF funds to pay for it, and then those funds, those remaining funds from the budget will go into the general fund that can be used for any number of things rather than where the restrictions that we have with the TIF fund. And then obviously the sale of engine one would, again, go to the same, either refund back to the TIF if that's an option, or go back to the general fund.
Okay.
Dan, do you have any questions?
No, thanks for putting this back together. this package.
Dick, do you have any questions?
No, I'm fine. We've reviewed this a couple times.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to recommend we buy this Ford F-550 and the pump we can get as soon as we can get it, and spend this $100,721.41 and take it out of the TIF account.
And that's been agreed. We're gonna go TIF, correct?
That's my preference.
That's his proposal.
Yeah, I second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Yes,
I
Aye. Sorry, aye. Aye. Aye.
Do we get a ride
So we have three ayes.
I would gladly bring you for a ride in that truck.
with the
once it's
siren
all set.
on? Can I have the siren on?
Absolutely. I think I can authorize that.
I don't want to abuse my power. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much. We'll
You're welcome.
We'll
Yeah.
get that moving first thing in the morning.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Chip Courier from Parks and Rec to do a proposal. Welcome, Chip.
It's just outlines it for him.
I'll take one.
I think Dick's already got a copy.
Yeah, I looked at it in the email briefly, but
Thanks.
it's good to have it here too.
I saw it in the email, but I'll take another one. Sure. Thanks.
Since you got it.
I did add to it with some milestones and metrics to kind of go off. So I am looking at starting a counselor and training program for our Hollis staff. This would allow, we've had a group of student helpers for the last couple of years. This would allow them to step up now that they're a little bit older and learn how to be a counselor, learn what it takes to be a counselor, learn the ins and outs of our department. Most of the people that I've already spoken to about this are very eager to get into our program in that way. So this would be for middle school students between the ages of 12 and 13. It would give them a clear pathway to transition into the counselor role when they're able to get a worker's permit at 14. Typically, we try to not hire them until they're 15, usually, just because of maturity levels. It would also allow some parents and some middle schoolers that aren't coming right now. We lost pretty much most of our middle schoolers this past year, with them going from the 6th grade to the 7th grade. It would allow them to have a place to come and be kids and learn what we do here. And most of them have been student helpers in the past. A couple of them helped us with track. And it would give them the responsibility that they've all been kind of craving. And I detailed it out in this and what we would do with trainings, hands-on experience, mentoring, skill development goals. I would have some set goals that I would expect them to hit. And if you go to the back of the book, you'll see that I did set a stage for metrics and milestones, where they'd first learn the orientation and foundation of our program, what we do, what we strive to do. We're here to keep the kids in our community active. We're here to make sure that the kids in our community have a safe place to go and be kids. And then we would go into team building and leadership, teach them how to be part of a team, although a lot of them are team-oriented already. I feel like they're team-oriented in the sports sense, but maybe not so much in the work sense. And it would give their families a discounted rate for them to come, be part of our program, and have a place for them to come. I got a group of 5 girls right now that are very interested. They've all been a student helper in the past, and their maturity level far exceeds where they are in life, and I think that it would be a good opportunity for them to come back and join us and not have to sit home and play on their iPads all day.
That's actually, if you don't mind me interrupting, that's
Sure.
actually what I was going to ask. Was there a target amount of enrollees or people in the program, or are you going to? I mean, how many can you
I would-
mentor? How many can you mentor effectively?
I wouldn't want to go too big, and I'd want to talk to Deb to see what she felt was appropriate on that. We don't want to super pack it with a bunch of kids that don't really know what the job is either. But we also want to make sure that the kids that are coming in and want to be counselors in the future have got that framework already established.
So are you planning on having an interview process to even apply?
I do believe that there should be an interview process on that.
And then do you have an expectation for participation?
I did outline a little bit in the back of this. I would expect for orientation they'd have to have like 100% attendance for it. I would expect them to be able to come through and give me what they've learned. I want to see what they learn at the same time, and I want to see how they grow at the same time. Attendance level per se, not so much, but I would hope that they would want to join us more frequently than they are right now.
And so who would be in charge of the program?
I would gladly take that on, just to make sure that we were able to put our values as the Parks and Rec Department into them. Deb and I both have extremely strong values about what this department should be. And I think that between the both of us, we could really set a framework for that.
So I thought that you had some sort of young explorer group, so who's
I
going to
do
take
have an
over
outdoor
for that?
explorer club, but that's more for outdoor exploration, survival skills outside, how to build shelter houses, stuff like that. This would be off of that, not really involved so much, where I'm teaching in the outdoor club more what happens if you get lost on a hike. How do you read a compass? How do you orienteer yourself back to safety?
So how often is that program?
Typically, last year I ran that one time last year.
I mean, how long is the program? Is it weekly? Is it every day for a week, or?
My Outdoor Explorer program or this program? My Outdoor Explorer program was once a week.
Okay.
We did 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock last year for that, and they learned all kinds of different skills: how to start a fire without having anything to start a fire with, how to use a tourniquet if you need it. There was a lot of stuff that I put out there for that one.
So would this program be running concurrently with that?
I could see it running concurrently. It's
I'm
different.
just concerned that it
it's-
seems to me like you're always the person that takes charge of the program, and
Well, as the assistant to Deb, I would hope that I would be a big part of most of the programming here.
okay. And when would you planning on starting it?
Right now, this has kind of come quickly, so I didn't expect it to move to this point as of yet. Most of the people that I have talked to wouldn't be available till winter, and it'll probably take me until January, first of the year, to even get this structure complete. This is really a rough draft of the idea, and I want to really make sure it's solid so that we have a decent program moving forward for years.
And how much of a discount would people get?
That would be up to what you and Deb decide that would be appropriate.
What Deb and the town manager decide,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Dan, do you have any questions?
No, just compliments. Good job.
Yeah.
This is a
I
great
really,
idea.
I really like this. It's a really great idea, and I love the idea that you're going to do like an interview process. So, like, obviously not going to be grueling.
Right.
These are kids, but that's just a good life skill right there. So,
Just to be interviewed.
We've seen in the past, even hiring for summer, that most of these kids coming in don't even know how to interview. They don't know what they should say or what they should know, and a lot of them couldn't even tell us what their strengths were this summer. So this would give them that framework to be like, you're strong here. You need to use this. This is something you should be including in your resume when it comes time. So
yeah.
So I guess what I would be interested in knowing is the number you're gonna try to do, and what your discount is gonna be.
Okay.
So, I mean, just because I don't want you to overextend with the number, I think it has to be a reasonable number for a group to really mentor and give some skills to.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a large number by any means. I was thinking between 3 and 5 of something that would max me out would probably be 5.
Dick, do you have any questions?
Chip, I think you had said to me, anyway, this is not going to impede attendance by others. This
Correct.
is in addition to.
Correct.
Okay.
This would not take away any spot that we have for
All right.
anybody. And at this point, I haven't closed our programming up for
Good.
aftercare, and I welcome anybody who needs aftercare to get a hold of me. I can't go too big, but I want to make sure everybody in this community has childcare if they need it.
Yep.
And your
Thank you.
ratio still is what, 10 to 1?
Our ratio right now is a little bit better than that. The last week has been about 12 to 15 to 1, depending on our numbers. But yes, we would keep a still 10 to 1 ratio for the most part.
Any other questions from anybody? So I guess, Dick, I need to know, do you want a recommendation, or you want us to do a motion, or what would you like? I mean, I recommend it, and I think Dan and
I'm gonna-
Mike do, but if you
Yeah.
want a formal,
I'll
official recommendation,
I confess that I thought you might be closer to wanting an approval. If at this point, would you be happy with at least the nod to say move forward, and then you can come back with the final details?
I would love to be able to structure this a little bit better for
Okay.
everybody, get
All right.
Deb involved, and have a lot of feedback from you guys, our
Okay.
department, and the
Alrighty.
town manager.
Yep.
okay,
Okay?
thanks.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
For the presentation.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Chip. Good job. Thanks, Deb. Under old business, we have the minutes from 8/6 and 8/20, and I think that let's see. On this April 6th committee, it says Dan wasn't here.
Nope, I wasn't here.
Okay,
August
so,
6th.
August 6th.
oh, sorry.
It's okay.
You know me, I always make up months. So anyway, I need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the 8/6/2025 minutes.
I second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
And Dan abstains. On the August 20th committee meeting, everybody was here, so. Dan?
I'll make a motion to approve August 20th, 2025.
Second?
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. New municipal town office update. So, we have a couple challenges with our new municipal town office. One of which is we had the new well tested, and we have arsenic in our well. So the state has gotten involved, and Jack's gonna be working on all the paperwork with the state tomorrow. But we are gonna have a little issue with not having enough funding for our new municipal town hall by about, I would say, anywhere between $150,000 to $200,000 is our best estimate. And some of it is just little odds and ends that I think when you're building a $7.5 million building come up. And it was recommended by rural development that we could take some of the change orders and just not do them. And we felt that we wanted to build the building right. So I'd like to take some money out of TIF and just have a general statement from everybody tonight that we're gonna take any additional funds that we need from the TIF fund. So any discussion?
That 150 to 200K, that includes the filter system?
Hopefully it
might need-
includes the filter. Right now, just at looking at what the information that I was sent from Eric Kraus, is our rural development person that's figuring out the payments, and we had to wait until we spent most of our money up, and then they started giving us the 2 million, so they just started doing that. And his last communication was that he thought we were gonna be about 50,000 short, but then we had 2 change orders, one for acoustical ceiling panels for 18,000 and one for Cove, the little kick things in the basement, that little strip behind us, for 1,800.
Okay.
So that brought it up to 69,000. We don't have an estimate on what the filtration system's gonna cost. So Jack's working with the state to fill out a form, for an application, and then we have to have the water retested by a licensed federal,
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but yeah.
a license, where we had it tested wasn't on their approved list for testing, so we have to have the water retested, we have to fill out some forms, we have to have all that sort of set in place by October. We can move in the building with just using bubblers and putting up signs that you can't drink the water, you can't cook in the water, you can't bathe in the water,
But we can still move in.
but we can move in.
Okay.
So I just need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion to use the TIF funding to fund the overages on the town hall building construction.
I second that motion.
Any further discussion? Ms. Bowley, would you like to say something?
So I just have a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, when you do a project like this, there's a contingency account
Mm-hmm.
or some money set aside for when you get close to
Mm-hmm.
closing. We have no contingency?
We
do
had a contingency which we have used up.
Okay, perfect. And then, there was a second question that just left my mind. You said like 18,000 and then maybe 50,000, but that doesn't add up to 150 to 200,000.
No, that total is 69,000, and we don't have an estimate for the filtration system.
yet. Okay.
So
all
we
right.
don't have a really good.
Do you know how high the arsenic was?
I don't remember what it was, but it was high.
It was at least 5 times.
Yep.
So that would only be 50.
It was about 50, but it's above
Okay, all
what
right.
they allow, and it's because we have a drilled well
Oh, wow.
rather than a dug well. Because,
I
as you
tested
know, we had to do ledge, and many homes in Hollis have arsenic in their wells if they drill them.
Super
One of our
common.
wells tested at 666, and
Oh,
we
wow.
never plugged it in. So we're like, oh, we'll be
Oh, you
done
just
with
moved
that.
on to a
Huh?
different, you just moved on to a different site?
We went to a different well.
A different well, I meant.
And
yeah.
arsenic systems, where your public water supplies can cost you up to $100,000 in a snap.
Wow.
Yep.
So, and
That's
a
why
few-
we just want to take whatever we need out of
And a
TIF.
few years ago, the state changed the arsenic levels for public water systems from 35 to 10.
Yeah.
And that changed a lot of everybody's operational. So I don't have, I mean, if we're going to build this town office, we're in it to win it now.
Yeah.
And get it done correctly, so that you're not coming back in 2 years and having to put in heat pumps instead of running window units and air conditioners.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it right and do it now and get it done. So that's it. Thank
You're
you.
here. Thank you. Thank you, Becky.
Thanks. So we have a motion. Are we ready for a vote? Is there any other public comment or comments? Anybody on Zoom or anything? Okay, how do you vote, Mike?
I vote yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so it passes. The final punch list, which is where I guess the architect and everybody from Great Falls, and they all walk around and look at everything and comment on everything, is going to be done on September 9th. So at that time, we should get a certificate of occupancy from our code officer. The furniture is going to be installed September 11th through the 15th. Thank you, Bennett, for working with the furniture people. And then it says furniture punch list on September 16th. I don't know really what that means. I guess they punch the furniture, Bennett.
Yes, we'll all go in and punch the furniture.
I
No,
understand.
it's so that the employees can go in, see how the furniture is placed, and if there's any changes, they can make them before they finish up.
Okay. And then we're going to start the big move-in on September 18th and 19th, which is a Thursday and Friday, and we're going to close the town offices for those 2 days. We will be posting that on our sign tomorrow, so we just want people to know we will be closed on the 18th and 19th. We will not be able to do anything for you, even if you come to the door, because the computers will be down and being moved to the new building. So, and they originally wanted to start tearing down the old building on the 19th, but they finally they agreed to start that on Monday. So on Monday, the 23rd, everything that anybody wants out of that old building needs to be removed, because then it will be in a hazmat envelope and you will not be able to get in or take anything out of the building. So Sunday night's it on getting anything out. Did you want to do your announcement on the
old town hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a number of things that are not going to be moving, a number of things that are installed. One that comes to mind is a hot water heating system, water heater, things like that, which are not going to go over. And if there's interest, I honestly tell you that I don't have the plan yet, but if there's interest, contact me or any of the folks at the town hall. Bennett would take a name and a number and what your interest is in, and we will structure some means of getting those out to people who have interest, as opposed to letting them go to the local disposal area or other use.
Or just be demolished when they demolish the building.
When the building goes down, they would be in it, I imagine.
So I guess the hot water system was installed in
6 years ago.
2019. It was a value of $9,500.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, if anybody was interested and could get it out, please let somebody know. And if there's multiple people, we'll probably do a drawing or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Because we just, we feel like, if somebody really could use it, it would be worthwhile. But it would have to be out by Sunday the 20...
Well, they're going to start the hazardous
on the 22nd.
Containment on the 26th. So the building won't come down on that day, but it'll be being worked in and on, so we'll need to move fairly quickly.
So as people probably already know, there is asbestos in the tile stuff, whatever they put tile in.
Correct.
The bathrooms have like a tile on the walls and stuff, and whatever the mastic, is that what they call it? Whatever that black stuff they put it on with has asbestos in it. So that's why we have to have the asbestos removed in the hazmat team. So any other questions on the new municipal town office? On the comprehensive plan, we have gone through all the chapters, made our recommendations, sent them to Southern Maine. We're currently looking at all the goals, policies, and strategies. I'm actually typing up a master list, and we're also, at the same time, we got the SACO, and it wasn't Stanford, it was the SACO comprehensive plan and the one from Standish, and we're just looking at what their goals are to make sure that we didn't miss anything majorly on the list. So those will be starting to have public hearings on those, hopefully in October. I also contacted the Maine State Agriculture people who review comprehensive plans because they have to approve it. And they've given me a time frame for when we need to get the approval. Do you have any questions, Tom?
Yeah, just a quick question. Tom Mikowski, resident of Hollis. For the public hearings for the comprehensive plan.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be time for changes?
Yes,
that
there
are,
will be, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like the select board where they just give you the finished
No,
product. It'll be a.
No, there will be plenty of
Fantastic.
time for changes.
That's awesome.
There's also was time for changes when the select board did theirs.
It's debatable, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep, there was. Rose update, Jack did reach out to, I can't think of her name. He reached out to, Julie Brask, who's in charge of the Salmon Falls Bridge reconstruction. So she said that they're going to start advertising for contractors in late 2025. They're supposed to be doing the update on Route 4A for the temporary bypass in 2026. And then they should start the reconstruction of the bridge with total closure of the area in the beginning of October. They anticipate they'll be closed for 245 continuous days with traffic detoured on Route 4A. And they have to be reopened no later than October 31st, 2027. So we're still trying to work with them to come up with a contingency plan or a different plan than using 4A and Country Club, that whole area. And so hopefully, Jack has been working with DOT and with Blue Triton, trying to set up a meeting to come up with a different way for the trucks to access the plant. But we haven't been very successful in getting that accomplished, so we'll be working on that. And I don't remember what Rob said, I think they're going to be starting, they're going to repave Haley Road, Mansion Road, and White House or White Horse? White House.
White House.
I always try to make it White Horse, I don't know why, Road. And I think he said they were going to start pretty soon, Beck, but I don't remember his message. I think it was like in a couple weeks.
Ditching looks good.
The ditching looks good.
Good looking ditching.
Yep,
if you're
good looking
listening right
ditching. Except I think we got a little shorted on hay because of the fire. But I'm not sure. But anyway. Salmon Falls Library update, they are moving along on doing all the projects on the library. They did clean the attic, and all it has left is some sort of like it's not a yodel, some sort of like an old stove that I don't know how they ever got it up in the attic because nobody wanted to carry it down. So it's the only thing up there left. They did, the shutters were not able to be used again, so they are reaching out to somebody to try to replicate the shutters that were there. They have gotten the roof replaced. They've gotten all the brush and stuff cut around the area, and they got a little phone call from the Saco River Corridor, but that's been resolved. They have the Civil War water trough is now exposed, and they want to do some landscaping around that and maybe have a little path up and have a bench above the Civil War water trough. I don't think there's water in it anymore. So they had some landscapers come over. They're going to do insulation, and they're going to do the siding and windows, and all within their budget. The only thing, Joe Ponzetti tried to steal our bench from out here. He said, Mary, what are they doing with that bench? I said, it's going on the town property. You can't have it, because he's looking to get a bench above the Civil War thing, for people to sit on and have a little walkway and stuff.
It's nice area.
So I told him he was going to have to do some fundraising, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, they're doing a great job, and thank you to both Joe and Nancy and Lynn, and Al went over and helped clean up, and
Yep.
it was quite a project. They did have a couple items that were up there that the Historical Society wanted. I want to say like a, what are they called? I'll have to ask, like a letterbox thing or something that was up there, and then there were a couple pieces of furniture that they wanted. But other than that, it was mostly just junk. And then Nancy has reached out and found someone to give us an assessment on the pictures that we have that are very valuable, and coming up with a system to preserve them a little better than they're currently being preserved, as they're just open to my falling up the stairs and going through the pictures. So, but she's done a lot of work for us, so thank you. Roger isn't here to talk about the carry forwards. I know that he's planning on coming in to talk to Diane on Friday, and he should have those ready for our next meeting because the select board has to approve the carry forward. So Martha isn't here, I don't think, for the election updates unless she's on her way over, but we'll come back to that. And so now we're down to new business. I don't think we have any appointments. I'll have to see where, oh, there's a library. Oh,
Mary, did you want to talk about the cluster housing clarification that was on the agenda?
oh, I have that later, so.
No. Okay.
Oh, I might, oh, sorry, I probably have, oh, I have it on my, I didn't look at Bennett's
I was gonna say that
update.
is new.
So the cluster housing, with the vote in June, it was voted to discontinue cluster housing. However, in the attachment that was with that article, all of the cluster housing places in the zoning ordinance from 2024 weren't included. So we reached out to the lawyer to see if we could take them out, and he said we would have that. As far as he was concerned, the cluster housing vote was binding, which means that we can't have anybody apply for cluster housing in the town, but we can't take that section out with just doing a clarification at the next June election to remove that verbiage. So we also asked him about, the planning board had a lot of places where they had capitalized some words, made the code enforcement officer CEO and not written out the word, taken the town of Hollis out, and he said that all that has to be on the June warrant and approved by the voters. Because we thought, you know, if we're going to update the warrant and make the changes that we had recommended, that we could sort of, you know, capitalize the words that people wanted, that the planning board had recommended be capitalized, and he said no, it had to go before the voters. So cluster housing is not allowed in the town per the vote by the legislative body, and that will remain in the warrant, in the zoning ordinance until we have it removed as a clerical error. It was in, I think it was in the original thing that Ben had sent us, and somehow just got missed when we were doing the warrant, so. Okay, so I'm done with that. Any questions?
Becky Bowley, Timber Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that I understand this, if I had a cluster subdivision approved by the planning board June 1st, 2024, that cluster subdivision would still stand.
Yes.
Anything after the vote that might have been in development, or I might be thinking about it, you cannot do cluster anymore.
If you didn't have it approved by the
Okay.
planning board.
Perfect, got it.
Yep. Thanks for clarifying that.
I just wanted, as a resident, I had a couple people ask about at food truck night. Residents asked questions, and some of them were happy that cluster subdivision was removed, and there'll be no more subdivisions in the town of Hollis. So I just wanted to and I clarified it to them, but I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that subdivisions are still allowed in the town of Hollis. The residents voted to remove cluster subdivisions, which was a type of subdivision.
Right. So, Tom, if you can just clarify for him what types we have.
Yeah,
Just
we still have, yeah. So we just don't, we no longer have cluster subdivision. The rest of the stuff still stands. So there's subdivisions are still allowed in Hollis. You haven't eliminated subdivisions. I honestly, I got that question a lot.
And you basically have minor ones and major ones.
Yes, ma'am. We still have minor, we still have major, and those are still allowed in the town of Hollis.
And I'm wondering if, for the time being, if we want to put something on the website, because if every J. Joe goes and say, oh, I want to do a subdivision Hollis, and gets the ordinance and says it's all in there,
Right. Yep.
and spends a bunch of time going to get their sketch
Through
plan
the cluster
and
and
then
stuff.
find out,
Yep,
oh,
that they can't. Yeah, we can
yeah.
put that on the.
Fantastic idea.
Yeah, that's a great
thank you,
idea,
guys.
Dan, thanks. Okay, so we're now up to Michael's favorite part.
I love it. All right, so the warrant last week was $68,479. The warrant this week is $102,323. The payroll last week was $35,016. The payroll this week is $36,960.
So the reason that the warrant was more this week was because we finally got some of that federal money. We got $1,298,000 or something like that from them finally after a long debate and needing certain signatures and stuff. So we were finally able to pay Great Falls, who had been waiting to pay their subcontractors. So they were very happy to see that check today. And then purchase orders are right here. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's why it was a little more.
So we have a purchase order for Steidler Heat Pumps LLC. This is for Chief Young. Actually, I've never done purchase orders. I'm not sure what, we're just talking about the dollar amount here.
Oh, you can say the
What-
number and
okay.
how much it was
Got
up
it.
to.
So purchase order 4525. It's basically for heat pumps to change over the heating and cooling inside Station 2 from forced hot water and portable AC heating units to heat pumps. And the purchase is going to not exceed $20,549.
That's above what you asked for.
This is purchase order 4558. This is the MSAD 6 transportation fee for summer rec. The purchase to not exceed $3,173.03. Purchase order 4588. This is NDS, and this is 3 OmniLink TM T8852 single station thermal receipt printers, tax collector and treasurer's offices. 2 hours of labor to set that up. $2,130.
They claim they're going to be faster. I want to know if they delivered the printed, but they don't.
They're getting rid of the dot matrix.
I was going to ask, is that? Wow, that's crazy. I didn't think that was ever going to happen. How are they going to print my red car registration now? Is that
On this new one.
crazy? Wow. Purchase order 4589, and this is Civic Plus, and this is a website migration year 1. So the renewal is $2,700. Additional migration costs $2,543. So the total is going to be $5,263. The new renewal date for this is going to be 7/1/2026. So the total purchase is not to exceed $2,543. Do you want to expand on any of this, Bennett? Okay. And that is the.
And we're going to ask Chief Young to expand on his because I'm pretty sure it was included in your budget for this year, right, Chief?
It was, yeah. It was approved in the budget proposal for this fiscal year for that heating update, so.
Right. So I just wanted to clarify that with people that, you know, they approved the money in June.
Yes, there was specifically $20,000 put in for heat repairs and maintenance for that purpose. I know the PO is about $500 or something dollars more than that. We have that in our general building maintenance category in our budget anyway to cover the difference, so.
15 cents a bottle if you pick up those nips.
Yeah, so, but yes, that was a budgeted upgrade for the station that was planned for this year.
Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
Who wants to do correspondence and announcements?
Yeah, I can do it this week.
Thanks.
All right. We have a select board and planning board workshop, Tuesday, September 16th at 7 p.m. The Maine Board of Environmental Protection invites the public to attend a public hearing to offer oral testimony and to submit written comments on proposed changes to Maine's water quality standards as part of their triennial review of water quality standards. The public hearing will be held at the Gussock Civic Center on Thursday, October 16th at 9 a.m. Written comments may also be submitted. More information is available on our town website under announcements. The Buxton Hollis Historical Society presents Wabanaki Stories and Lunch with Jennifer Pictou, the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer for the Aroostook Band of Micmacs. Luncheon and presentation will take place on Saturday, September 13th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Historical Society Building, 100 Main Street in Buxton. Tickets are $12 for adults, $5 for children ages 6 to 12, and free for children under 6. Please make reservations by calling 929-1684. The Historical Society is also presenting So You Think You Know Hollis in Buxton with Maine College professor and author James Libby on Tuesday the 16th at 7 p.m. Refreshments will be served and donations are suggested. The town clerk's office is coming up on a very busy marriage license season. Please call 929-8552 extension 18 to make an appointment. All couples should arrive at the town hall at least half an hour before closing time for marriage licenses. Do you have unwanted pesticides?
Yes.
Maine's obsolete pesticide collection program offers a safe, free way for Mainers like you to dispose of outdated or unused pesticides. Collections will be held in October, but you must pre-apply by Friday, September 26th. Visit their website, thinkfirstspraylast.org, or email pesticides@maine.gov.
And then just a couple other announcements. I know that some of you know there are maps that are available on our, what do you call that? On the web page, or the maps that they pull up?
Tax map?
Tax maps, yeah. Well, they were very outdated. The last time the maps had been updated was in 2021, and John O'Donnell and his team went through all the data and updated them till 2025 and sent them to CAI Technologies. And on Tuesday, we got a message from them letting us input that information into our maps. So the maps are all updated with all the splits and the properties and all the corrections from our famous Dan Yerumian when he does his surveying.
Oh, I didn't do anything.
So thank you, everybody, for that. And then, as you can see over in my left, the right-hand corner of the building, there's a veterans flag that the Bar Mills American Legion Hutchinson Boulder Post 130 would like veterans to come in and sign. And they'd like to remind you of their monthly meetings that are the second Wednesdays, so it's next Wednesday at 9 a.m. at the Torrey Hill Cafe, and that's at 15 Pinkham Drive in Buxton. So they really would like to have some more veterans join them. Your family's invited to the breakfast too, and they're trying to come up with some other events to have at the Veterans Post that's over in Bar Mills across from, Providence Retreat, sort of when you're going out of Hollis down the hill on the right-hand side. So if anybody would like to either sign the flag or come to a meeting, please join us. And then the only other thing I wanted to say is that I know that the town manager has now been here for about 60 days.
62.
And it's been a very challenging 60 days. And I just wanted to remind both residents and employees of the town and everybody that, you know, there was a 5-member select board town manager form of government meeting that wrote an ordinance that was approved by the town. And then there was a hiring committee who hired Dick Moran as our town manager. And I would expect, as a resident and as a member of the select board, that everybody would be supportive and would be trying to help him transition into his role as the town manager. And so I would expect people to provide him with courtesy and information. I think a lot of people have a lot of knowledge of this town, and so I expect you to give him support.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I don't know if you want to add anything, Dick.
To that, it's an open door, open phone. I'm overwhelmed some days, so please bear with me, but I thank everybody who has had the time to stop by for good reason and bad. You know what? There's no bad reason really, because we find solutions and answers for things. And so I thank you very much.
And I know that I have a problem with letting go, and sometimes people ask me questions, and I'll go, "You got to go to the town manager," but, and I probably shouldn't put the "but" in, but I'm trying to be better, and so I'm transitioning the safety committee to him, getting some of the comprehensive planning committee stuff together so that he can join us and help us with with getting that approved in June. And we're working on policies and ordinances and all kinds of things. And I know that sometimes he probably feels like I'm stepping on his toes, but I try not to. But I try to support him too by saying to code and to the people that work there that they need to go through the town manager. Like tonight with, it's a very good proposal to have the kids learn some leadership skills, but they need to go through Dick to present it to us. So, enough said. Mike, do you have anything?
I mean, I think I want to just. No one ever said this was going to be easy. The transition to the town manager style of government, I think it's been handled excellently from what I've seen so far. I think, Dan, I'm not sure if I think you agree, but I think, you're releasing the reins as much as possible in the right sequence, and I think Dick's doing a fantastic job in his role too. So I'm very happy as a resident and as a select board member to see the progress that you've made. So
Thank you.
I just wanted to echo there.
But sometimes I think he probably could kick me.
I'm of age. I can't lift my foot that high anymore.
And Becky, in answer to your question, the arsenic was, where is it now? I lost it again. Was 45.62. The limit is 10. Dan, you got anything?
I guess some upcoming town committee and board meetings, if you want to talk about those.
Yep.
All right. We got a planning board meeting coming up Wednesday, September 10th at 7 p.m. A sports complex committee meeting on Thursday, September 11th at 7. A select board and planning board workshop I mentioned earlier. That's on Tuesday, September 16th at 7 p.m. There's a select board meeting Wednesday, September 17th at 7, and a conservation commission meeting on Thursday, September 18th at 5:30.
And then Dan, can you just give us a little update on the Bar Mills decommissioning? I know that he's meeting with.
So we had a meeting last week. There was 4 people from Hollis, 4 from Buxton. There was some Brookfield people and some of their engineer study people, Klein Schmidt, and it was kind of like a meet and greet. We listed out some issues to be going over in the future, kind of just like a preliminary thing. We started looking at that big study they released, not released, but they gave us the draft to.
It's
We're going to be talking
this
about this
big.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about this draft study that they have that's going to go in with their application to surrender the dam license that they say that they want to put in early next year. So they say now's the time to kind of talk about maybe changes on their thing. But so far, their plan that they were talking about a couple years ago is still the same, to demolish the dam and maybe not take out all of their structures there. But we're trying to work with them to try to get some sort of reassurances for the town that we're not going to be end up like Buxton did with the fiber mill.
Thank you. And then the only other thing we need to discuss before we open it up to the public is I know Mike's been working and worked very hard to get this meeting set up on the 16th,
Oh, the workshop.
the workshop. And so we needed to come up or think of some agenda items. And the only thing I really thought of was that I wanted to have the planning board tell us what they think the problems are that we need to address as a team of the planning board and select board, and just what we feel our relationship should be with them. So, I mean, I don't see a reason to list a bunch of things like, oh, we want you to work on a growth ordinance and impact, some sort of fees, I forget what they are. Where we would charge if you're building a new subdivision, that you would give some fees to pay for the fire department and other things. It's impact fees, right? I don't remember. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can.
So I really just want to have sort of a session to work out our differences and be able to come so that we can work together.
Yeah, I think just to kind of put what the idea behind it is really to put us all on the same page. Talk about the logistics for the consideration of the warrant. So like Martha's going to be there. I think that was a great idea. Set expectations for our role, for the planning board's role, and to ensure basically that, like you were just saying, a productive working relationship, making sure that we're looking forward in this and getting what we need.
Anything to add, Dan?
No.
No? Dick?
Not adding to that, if I may, I would like to just give you a kind of a summary of some things. Is that all right?
All righty.
Well, first of all, I think your older version draft didn't have the resiliency grant on it.
Oh.
So let me just drop.
Oh, did I just skipped that.
Well, that's all right.
Sorry.
We submitted our application in full after 2 or 3 revisions on Friday, back and forth, and we're waiting to hear what that result will be. That is not going to report back to us until mid-January, I think,
Yeah.
right? Start being considered. So we have a wait.
And
that
was for?
That is for heat pumps for this building, first floor, and the basement level for, we hope that we don't have to use it, but maybe for a cooling center for the summertime, or maybe even a warming center in the in the wintertime. Also, it allows us to keep the propane system offline a little longer into the year, saving environmental issues. And it also stops from having to put all these machines through the windows every time the temperature changes and turn them on and turn them off. So that is in play. Met this morning briefly with the road commissioner, Rob, and he reminded me that it became September, which is the beginning to peek around the corner at winter. And so he's looking at the need for winter sand. There is some sand on board, but he's concerned that we may not have enough to make it through a normal winter. So he's going to go get 3 or 4 quotes and take a look at what the purchase potential is. We'd like to keep somebody engaged so that in the event that we run out, we call them and they say, oops, we're all out because everybody else has made their purchase orders. So we want to be ahead of the game in case there is that challenge. The intersection of Route 35 and Saco Road, we've had some concerns about visibility, and we are taking that under advisement and looking at ways to improve that if it's at all possible. Let me see. I had a great visit yesterday with the folks at Blue Triton, also known as Poland Spring. I shared out of the box concerns about some driving issues that I've heard, and trucks and following routes, and we had a very open and honest discussion from my point of view anyway. They took me on a tour of the plant, which overwhelmed me and almost made me speechless, and then we drove up the road a ways and looked at one of the sources and talked about their concerns for the planet and how they monitor what they're putting in their bottles and what's coming out of the earth, and I was duly impressed, and I am pleased that I was able to do that, more so because I want them to be able to call me and I can call them with issues as they may surface. Trash seems to have settled for the time being. I say trash, meaning the issues with trash, but I want to remind everybody the best solution is 2 containers, preferably with tops, so that windy days and crafty crows can't ruin the good direction we're headed in. 1 for trash, 1 for recycling, and it's not easy to make that transition. You can find, if you want, on our website, on the town's website, what is and what is not. What did you call it, Bennett?
Do's and don'ts.
Huh?
Recyclopedia?
Recyclopedia, which will tell you what works and what doesn't in which container. And I would encourage everybody to take advantage of that. And then finally, at the end of the road to the town hall, we all know what's across the street, the school. And we have kids crossing there on a daily basis to come here for the rec program. And the last time I checked, the speed limit's 35 miles an hour, and I'm sure it's hyperbolic, but I've heard the numbers 60 or 70 or 15 that mentioned, and that we need to slow down. We're going to be taking a look at the lights and the signs and double check that they're in the right places. We're asking drivers to please pay attention. These youngsters, you know, when they get out of school, they are not sleepy and tired. They are cooped up and ready to rumble, and we need to make it safe for them to cross over and join the rank and file of Chip's crew. The walk across the road is going to be painted and check marked, so it'll help remind people that there are youngsters, and we do have the crisscross push button crossing lights that will go on. And we're looking at other opportunities to try to save and keep our kids safe crossing over, so they can come over here and finish their day and get home to get home to their parents. I think I'm done.
And the other thing is just a reminder that when you do come on the town property,
right.
the speed limit is 10 miles an hour. And I know that is really slow. And I know probably if somebody was following me, I might not be going 10 miles per hour. But just a reminder, there are kids, they don't think. They are chasing their friend or chasing whoever or doing whatever, and we just don't want somebody to get hit. So please try to slow down a little bit. Okay, we're up to public comment. Chris, do you have anything else? Anybody on Zoom? Miss Bali, anything?
I'm good.
Tom? Anybody else? Well, Jack's not here to do number 9, so I'll let y'all decide.
I make a motion to adjourn the select board meeting.
Second.
We're all in favor, I know. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.